All right, so today's lesson is about mindset and your subconscious, which creeps up against you and you're like, I don't even know it's there. And it's like, ah, and it just eats you alive. Why is subconscious so important? Literally, your subconscious is your own worst enemy. Your subconscious is out to get you. It's not actually out to get you, it's out to keep the status quo. What your subconscious's goal, you can really understand it if you look at it in this way, is to keep it all the same. So if you have a goal, your subconscious wants to stop that from happening. That's not the status quo. The status quo, man, is like it's always been. The status quo is the way it's always been. Your goal is a new thing. It's unknown, it's scary, it's uncertain, it's different, right? If you have any aspirations to grow and change and learn, you need to go to battle with your subconscious. I like to think about it as your enemy because it creeps up on you, because your subconscious is as smart or even smarter than you are. It utilizes all of your same brain. So it will oftentimes tell you something as if it's a rule or a fact or a truth or something like that, when in reality, it's just mere guidelines. Here's an example from my personal subconscious and my battle with it. I have always prided myself on being a hard worker. Like many entrepreneurs, probably most entrepreneurs, I thought that I am a failure somehow, or not being myself, or being even a bad man if I'm not working myself into the ground, doing 10 to 15 hours a day, even on weekends. I found out early on in my coaching, which is very valuable, I was coached to do more important things, more impactful things that didn't take as long for me to do as less impactful things. I would think that going to make a mail run and do a certified mailing for a demand letter that I was doing for a client was the best use of my time. Or I could hire somebody to do that for me and then everybody wins, right? But to me, it was very productive and I was working hard because I was sitting in traffic, I was sweating, I had to wait in line at the US Postal Service, just yada yada. A coach of mine, a very great mentor, told me, he said, well, is your goal to be a hard worker or is your goal to be successful? Because you can do either. I said, well, really my goal is to be successful. And he said, okay, there are people out there whose goal is to be a hard worker. And you can be a hard worker, but really that's going to be a different thing from owning a law firm, for example, like me. That what that's going to entail is, manual labor, which I may or may not be good at and I may or may not enjoy. And he's like, it's a wonderful career, it's a lifestyle, it's this whole thing. If you want to do that, if you want to be a hard worker as your primary priority and goal, you can do that, go right ahead. But I don't think you're in the right profession if you're going to be a law firm owner. So I really thought hard about that. And I decided, which is a huge deal in the coaching world, when you make a decision, the universe kind of just shifts and changes. But I made a decision to not be a hard worker for the sake of being a hard worker. I made a decision to meet my goals, and whether or not that entails hard work, I would do it. But if you can see, just to loop this all back, that's my unconscious telling me, you're a bad man if you're not working yourself into the ground. That's not who you are, right? So as I started to do these things that were far more efficient and cost effective in terms of time and money, I had more time. I had more time available to me, and I didn't really know what to do with it at first. I went ahead and filled it up with other more productive things. Moral of the story is, your subconscious is out to get you. It wants to maintain the status quo. The status quo is exactly how it's always been. So if you want a goal, if you want to meet something and do something really cool, that's a change. You have to go to bat against your subconscious and you have to watch for it for these rules. My rule was that you can't be yourself if you're not working yourself into the ground. that was a lie. So I had to call it out. Another rule for me and a lot of other people I know is you can't call people asking them for money. People get very uncomfortable because their subconscious thinks that that's being somehow greedy or evil or selfish or something like that. But it's totally okay to ask people for money, especially when you're offering them a product or a service in exchange for that money. I mean, that's how the whole economy system works. If you have goals, focus on the goals, understand and accept that your subconscious is going to try to trick you into not reaching those goals because it doesn't want change to happen. And then eventually, once you hit those goals, you can just reset your subconscious to be okay with the new thing. So that's all I got. Take care.